Gillis, Cunningham. This is Glen Gillis. He's a professor at the University of Saskatchewan in Saskatoon, Canada. My name is Jamie Cunningham. I'm associate professor here at Florida Atlantic University. Once upon a time, we were both teaching at a small university in Oklahoma, and we got kind of thrown together and started doing experimental music. That was 20 years ago. And since then, we've continued this partnership. Tonight is a celebration of that 20 years partnership. And these pieces are pretty newly composed. Glenn has 2 albums out. I have 1 album out, and we're currently recording an album here at FAU of an album here at FAU of all our compositions. So it's going to be an album. It should be coming out this summer. And I'd like to thank Matt Baltrucki and Jake Plummer, who have been working with us on the technical and creative side of the process. The first piece we played is called Fanfare.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet. You want to say something, Glenn?
Yeah, Fanfare, we did wrote this about 2 years ago. Like a lot of our compositions that we come up with, it comes through just generally playing together. We do a lot of jamming, and that was inspired. I have this idea that we needed an opener type of piece, and of course fanfares are traditionally not too long, so that was a 3-minute piece. The next work is also fairly recent. We have, over the last 20 years, put together a lot of different works. Even we recorded a piece called Sonata, a 20-minute work. But all these tonight that we're going to play are generally on the shorter side. This one is called Walkabout. This was Jamie's title idea. But it has basically 3 sections in it. It starts off in 3 sections of tempo. First is on the slow side. Then we kick it up into a 6/8 feel, and then we kick it up into more of a 2/4 feel. But at the very beginning, you'll hear Jamie's going to use clapsticks, and this is what we call asymmetric meter, where it's 3/4, 2/4, or you could consider it as 5/4, sort of a 5/4 feel to it. So this one's called Walkabout, and this was Jamie's idea. That do you want to explain, or do you want me to talk?
The walkabout is an Australian Aboriginal term, and it means basically that you go out on a walk and you just walk around, and you don't really know where you're going to end up. So this is probably one of the most traditional pieces that we play, where the didgeridoo has more of a rhythmic accompanying role, and the saxophone is the lead melodic instrument. In Aboriginal culture, that would be singing and didgeridoo.
So, as we're probably figuring out my microphone here somehow. Next piece is a piece that I wrote for myself, and in one of my albums. It's actually called Doppler Jig, and the idea of this piece was playing around with timbre effects on the instrument, the saxophone. Timbre meaning that playing with almost, or microtones. So for instance, with pitches where you can have where some of the pitches are close together and some of them are micro tones, either sharper or flatter than the bass or pitches of the diatonic scale. I'm going to play a short rendition of this piece. The original is Doppler Doppler Jig. There was a long introduction, and then the second part is it's very easy to pick what the jig is because it jigs, and I use all these timbral effects to get that. And when I was recording it, my recording engineer back at the University of Saskatchewan said, you know, that almost sounds like a Doppler effect. And I go, aha. Because I was still looking for that certain type. So I called it Doppler Jig. So this one has a short introduction, and it almost has a little bit of a jazz touch to it, and then I'll whip into this kind of a traditional type of dance on the jig. So the other thing about this piece, it explores some of the different things that in the saxophone world, things can get pretty wild and crazy, but I'll tame it down to a certain degree.
is kind of a necessary thing. A lot of what we do is we play in a lot of ambient spaces. And we've been experimenting with the ability to capture and reproduce ambient space in any location. So that's what you're hearing is a special type of reverb that is patterned after very specific places. This last one used a reverb from a cathedral of Saint Stephen in France. The next piece we have is a piece that, it's a brand new piece, it's going to be on the album, and it utilizes a lot of effects and samples from another project that we've been doing with a colleague, Matt Baltrucki. We went to Saskatoon, and we captured and sampled a lot of instruments in a large instrument collection there. And with the idea of using those sounds to put together other pieces. And thanks to Matt Baltrucki for creating the backing track for this, and also to Jake Plummer, a student who has been working with us in the studio.
So you want to give a title?
You can.
Yeah, this one's called Whales in a Mechanical Ocean. And the backtrack, of course, is the sounds of the water. We're the two whales communicating. And I'm trying to match his pitches that he's on his instrument. I'm using what we call overtones, just strictly overtones, just like a brass player, except I'll be playing maybe on the high side of the overtones, but without moving fingers. So it's all manipulation in the mouth here. And his manipulation is a little bit different. So
I'm playing an instrument that I refer to as the whale phone.
your instrument. His adventure.
This next piece is a lyric poem. It has words to it, but they're played lyrically. They're sung rather than spoken. But the actual words are, this is called Waltz for Janice. The actual words are, I love you, I love you, I love you, my dear. I love you, I love you, I love you, my dear. The moon and the stars and the sun and rain. I love you, I love you, I love you, my dear.
Okay. The next short piece we're going to do is basically a hymn. And actually, it's we call it shaker song. And typically of shaker songs or shaker hymns, there's a very simplistic nature to it. And it's just a simple four-measure phrase that repeats. And the interesting thing is this, Jamie's going to play on a conical or a quasi-conical cylindrical, larger cylindrical, turns into a conical properties or the nature of blowing the octave. Normally instruments, they're what we call a closed system, overblow an interval of what we call a twelfth. This acts as if it's conical. It overblows into an octave.
Same as the saxophone.
Yeah, there we go. The conical saxophone. And so this one is, again, is called Shaker Song, also called a Pilgrim Monumental. And the IR that Jamie's going to use is from.
Oh, the acoustics were actually captured in the Pilgrim Monument in Massachusetts that is out on Cape Cod. So it's the largest freestanding granite structure in America.
most, or the oldest on our list here tonight, and is a piece called CANUS lupus, or CANUS LUPI, or plural, which means gray wolf. And you could consider this a programmatic piece, in the sense that I'm gray and he's the wolf. Pardon me. But it's basically, we have this idea of in a snowstorm or in a storm, these two wolves are howling and they're trying to find each other in the storm. And of course, there's always a happy ending because at the very end, the final cadence resolves the two. Is in the Disney world. They come together and they find each other.
And they live happily ever after.
That's right. So CANUS lupus. We recorded this on my CD in 2014. So this definitely is their voice. Okay. This next piece, and I should mention that I use a timer from time to time, especially when you're doing backtracks, either of sounds, or in this case, we're going to use a video. And it's crucial to know where we are in the music. Some of our music is improvisatory in some sections, but we certainly have to line up. And the only way to line up, or make sure that we line up, is using a timer. This one is called Total Eclipse of the Sun. And this idea came to me when I was in St. Louis in 2017, right in August, yes. And that was the eclipse of the sun, when we had the eclipse. And I thought this would be a cool thing to do. And the interesting thing, the experience of seeing a total eclipse was not just what was going on in the sky. It was also what was going on around you. Of course, the street lights came on. We were on a lawn area, and immediately the grass started to get wet. So that was kind of a surreal experience. And of course, the cicadas started coming out and doing their thing. And as soon as the eclipse stopped, then the cicadas, the lights went out, or the street lights went out, and the cicadas stopped. And then the grass is still wet for a little while, and then eventually it was dry again. So that was kind of an interesting experience in that regard. This, of course, will be with video, and Jamie had found this. It was down the eclipse.
Oh, it's some footage from NASA, which wasn't that great. So I actually screwed it up a little bit more to make it look even better. Basically, a total eclipse of the sun is where the moon goes in front of the sun, and then when it's totally blocking the sun, then you can see the corona of the sun. In this piece, I'm the moon, and he is the sun. I'm using a slide didgeridoo that's capable of changing its pitch. Most didgeridoos only play one note, but this one is capable of a range of notes. So, are we ready in the booth? Okay, you want to get these lights?
You did. keep the program on the shorter side.
Our last piece.
Yeah. This, we've done a couple of pieces that are, that had a little bit of a jazz style to them. One we did, recorded about 10 years ago called Didgeridoo. And it was a slower tempo. This one's a little bit on the faster side, so we decided to do one that kicks it up a little bit. This one's a short 2-minute piece. Just has a simple, what we call a jazz head. Short improv section, and then return back to the head. This one's called Blue Jeans. Jeans,
BLEU GENES.
There we go.
And on this one, I'm going to be using a didgeridoo of another didgeridoo of my own invention. This is called a sewer phone because it's made out of sewer pipe and it's shaped like a saxophone.
He likes to mock saxophone.
Yeah, no offense intended. It's a great, the saxophone's a great design. Adolf Sax did a marvelous job on the design. This is made, again, out of plastic. And most didgeridoos only have one pitch. This actually has 2 pitches, so it allows me to change keys.
One more.
This is literally, well, excuse my French, but we kind of pride ourselves in being able to pull things out of our rear ends. We don't say it that way, but this is a musical idea that Gwen had, and we were just screwing around yesterday, playing, rehearsing, warming up a little bit, and he pulled this out. So this piece was not composed, but it was put together yesterday. And it's a good example of how we work together. It's called IDUS MARTIAE. IDUS MARTIAE, which is Latin for the Ides of March, because that was yesterday.
So basically, it's just based on a simple little motif, and we've got a lot of pieces that are written in kind of in a minor mode, that kind of thing. This one is both major and minor, has a major and minor type of flavor to it. So mixolydian almost. Okay.
Major minor.
Major minor. Okay.
There is, I recorded a CD, Glen's on there, we have a sonata on there, but it's mostly a solo CD in 2007. It's out there in the lobby. I'm not going to ask you to pay for it, it's free. Take one and listen to it, please. I have some students here too that I promised I had to bribe them with extra credit to come. There's a sign-up sheet over there for your extra credit. But again, and if anybody can sign up for extra credit, but if you're not in my class, you won't get it.
If there's any saxophonists out there who would like a CD, I don't have as many as he has, but come and see me and I'll give you one.
Okay.
I've got first come, first service. I've got 6.
Guys, you good?